You, as a graphic designer, can create greatness with just a few clicks of your mouse or even just a solid foundation of graphic design knowledge. Why was the Apple iPod marketing so great, and what makes the Nike design so functional? Let's unravel great design in today's video, where you can follow along and test your knowledge of graphic design principles and much more. We're going to start with the easiest design out of the 3 examples in today's video. Here is a landing page for Nike that has done so many things right, it's obvious to me the designer knew exactly what they were doing. Nike, after all, is one of the most highly recognized brands out there, with years and years of marketing experience and knowledge, not to mention piles of money readily available to throw at marketing. However, just like in my before and after style videos on this channel, I want you to think about this design and think what works well. What principles have been used and what techniques create an effective design? One obvious technique is emphasis, and that is used on the call to action button where it says shop now. It's in red, which is different from the white text where it is found in a proximity group to the left of the design. Red obviously standing out among whites. The designer wants you to get trigger happy and click this button here, so making it stand out is pretty smart. The white text itself has a very orderly and a very neat layout, making use of hierarchy. The 2-line message is bold and big, along with 2 other groups of text that are not so important. Also notice the micro white space between each area of text, making them have room to breathe. But then still, all of this text, along with the call to action button, are within one group, while the shoe on the right is a totally different area of proximity. There is also quite a clever attention to detail if you look between the shoe and also the text, that white space between. The designer has given thought to each line of text independently and how it interacts with the shape of the shoe. So if you look here, we can draw a line along the lace side of the shoe, and that line mimics the shape of the text to the left. Some other minor details to take into consideration are the background colour, as the tints match the shoe colours. And of course, everything is aligned pretty neatly. You will notice that everything I talk about in my before and after videos are right here on display for you to see. It's functional yet practical design made simple. But let's take a look at something slightly different. So, if you're as old as me, you're probably going to remember when the first MP3 player made an entrance onto the market back in the early 2000s. It wasn't too long after this that Apple totally changed the market with the Apple iPod. Ushering the iPod into the minds of the consumer was revolutionary marketing that the whole world had never seen before, something which propelled the iPod into the stratosphere. And here is an example of one such marketing designs. So I want you to think about this advert, and also just the whole of the iPod silhouette adverts as a whole. Why do they work from a technical and also a theoretical standpoint? Let's first look at the technical aspects. The iPod adverts were always in black silhouettes on bright colour backgrounds. This is a huge use of contrast, and this right away grabs attention. Not only is it going to grab attention, but it will stay in the minds of the consumer to remember thereafter. Secondly, notice how her body and arms move the eye of the viewer up to the iPod logo. Or you could start from the logo and then move down her arms to the end at the iPod itself. The only white elements on the design are the Apple logo, the iPod itself, and then the small message at the bottom. 7,500 songs in your pocket. That's a whole lot of CDs. But there are some deeper things going on in this design. Apple wanted to target mainly young people around age 18 to 35. Having the models in silhouettes not only made contrasting designs, but it was easy to identify with these silhouettes simply because they are essentially representing the masses. They were no one single group or one type of person or one look, they were just people enjoying music. The silhouettes were always dancing and having a great time, and so with this marketing you're just buying into that notion. The iPod would guarantee you a great time. This design doesn't need huge blocks of typography and bold lettering because the main message is delivered in the imagery itself, which brings me on to design number 3. So this design raises awareness of the World Kidney Day and just general kidney health. Obviously, being healthy is one of the most important things to us as people, and so a cause like this is fairly well needed. So what good techniques have been used here in your opinion? Thinking back to colour theory on this channel, green is a strong link to health and also a natural life. So the designer here has chosen to have a green background with a white gradient in the middle. What do you think the purpose of this white gradient is? Well, it's there to draw the viewer's eye into the focal point in the middle, which is the broccoli. And that brings me onto one of my favourite areas of graphic design. It's the visual metaphor concept. This is where a designer thinks of a clever way to deliver a message with just imagery in the form of a metaphor. The example here being broccoli resembling the shape of kidneys. Broccoli obviously being healthy, and that would match up with the concept. We also can see some hierarchy in the text below and a whole lot of free white space surrounding the focal points. There is no need for colour contrast because the main focal point itself does all the visual attention seeking and grabbing. These are some of the ways that good designers create good and functional design. And this is why I'm so focused on this stuff on this channel, because it's so important, and yet it's so easy to make, relevant graphic designs that target specific people and deliver a message correctly. So it's challenge time, and this week it's a logo redesign that I found over on Freepik. Now you can find a link down below to the download file, which also contains a brief, but do make sure you read the description on today's video on how to enter. There you will find the date of entry, the email details, and so forth. But yeah, I look forward to seeing your redesigns, and the 3 winners will be announced next week on Friday. Remember, if you want to learn more about graphic design, just click a video on screen, and until next time, design your future today. Peace.